Zach Parker's corner throws in the towel versus John Ryder. Very surprising. When he got off the stool and he was like walking to him, like, what's going on? They're stopping the fight? And then they're like, yeah, they're stopping it. He's got a bad hand. First off, I thought the fight was pretty even at the time of stoppage. Whatever, not a big deal. Going into the fight, I thought Zach Parker was going to win. But as the fight was going on, I'm like, all right, it's pretty even. But I thought if everything kind of played itself out normally, Parker would probably win because he seemed to be the longer, more athletic fighter. But Ryder was game. Ryder was hungry, and he wins the fight by technicality. But a win is a win. Nothing he can do. And to me, a lot of people are like, "Oh, Parker's corner threw in the towel." He seemed content with the decision, and this is the difference between European boxing and American boxing. In Europe, they treat it more like a sport, and it's like if you're hurt, fight another day. In America, we don't tolerate that, and you could say we're unreasonable and that we're very harsh as American fight fans, but like we want you to go out and on your shield. Like Wilder broke his hand versus Fury in that third fight, he still kept fighting. Gervonta Davis broke his hand, he still kept fighting. Floyd Mayweather broke his hand, one of his earlier fights. I think it was the Carlos Hernandez fight. He still kept fighting. Point is, Paul Malignaggi, he had an orbital bone injury. He kept fighting. On and on and on and on. And, this reminds me of when Vitaly Klitschko, he had the shoulder injury and then his corner threw in the towel when they were up against Chris Bird. And he didn't even understand why the American public was upset because in his mind, like what he did was completely acceptable. But once he understood that what they did was unacceptable, Vitaly Klitschko never ever came close to quitting again the fight because he was on code. And once he understood the American code, the way we get down here in the Western civilization, it wasn't going to happen. And that's why in the Lennox Lewis fight, he just kept fighting. He was outraged when they stopped the fight and they, because of the cuts by his eye. He was like, no, I want to keep fighting. I want to keep going. So to me, Zach Parker seemed content. And to me, it's like, you're content, but you just lost out possibly the biggest fight of your career and a game-changing, money-changing fight. Like, you're not getting the Canelo fight. Like, you're not. Like, most probably. I don't know what Canelo does next, but I think he fights John Ryder next. I don't think he fights Dimitri Bivol or Demetrius Andrade. I think those guys are just way too dangerous for him. And credit to Ryder. He showed up, and he won the fight. But, yeah, I mean, listen, I'm not a fighter. I'm not ever one to, criticize fighters, bravery and toughness. Like, I try not to be, I should say, not never. Because they take a big risk that, frankly, I wouldn't be willing to do. I wouldn't have the courage to get in that ring, and most people wouldn't either. So I give them all the credit in the world. But when you compare Zach Parker to other fighters in boxing, you got to say that he's lacking from a mental fortitude standpoint, from a heart standpoint, and his corner too. I was very, very, very surprised. But credit to John Ryder. John Ryder gets the W, and he positions himself very likely next May on Cinco de Mayo to get himself a fight with Canelo. Whether that'll be in Vegas or in the UK, I don't know. But I think that's probably the move for Canelo. Maybe he goes to the UK. He doesn't have to worry about being robbed. He's too big of a name. And let's be honest, he probably knocks John Ryder out. Let me know what you guys think. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe.